Okay, welcome back to Spiral Abyss. This will be my second time doing a guide for the Ruined Serpent, because for whatever reason, even though that 70% of the prior video, which you can see on the top right, was dedicated to explaining the movesets and the mechanics of the Ruined Serpent and how it was actually easier than the regular Serpent, people focused on the latter 30% and completely skipped the intro where I explicitly said that I would be using units that were supposedly bad for Serpent. I'll also do it with units that apparently suck against it. So I'll bring Yai along, and then I'll also bring Ito. So do note that the guide portion in terms of explaining the mechanics for the Ruined Serpent are going to stay the same because that's where I usually put the majority of my time and effort into. I didn't really think that people would just skip the video, so I'm going to do it again, this time with a much easier obtainable lineup. So, instead of actually using Zhongli and Yai and such like that, why don't we use something else? Let's use Bennett, because he is part of Standard, and you can get him. I'm pretty sure everyone has been pulling for him. We're going to use Goro, because he is pretty mandatory for Ito teams. We're going to bring along Noel, so instead of Zhongli, we'll have Noel. And for Ito, I replaced his Red Horn with White Blind, so it's easier to obtain because it's a literal craftable claymore. Okay, welcome back to 12.3.2, and here we are again. We're going to be explaining the boss again because I must cover all bases. So when the fight first begins, the boss is going to be around here. You'll slam his tail into the ground, and this could be a DPS window if you manage to get it set up, but otherwise, depending on your energy levels, you might want to use it for battery instead, or do a quick cheeky little skill tap in there. So after that, only 3 things will happen, and I say only 3. 1, it will burrow into the ground very slowly. That means it's going to vortex the arena, which means around here, it's going to start swirling, so start running your units around here. Thank you, Yai, for saving me some stamina and some free damage. I love you very much, ma'am. Just depending on when it goes, but you'll have an easier time with, say, taller males and females like Ito and A, so just keep that in mind. 2, it will turn into a rolling pin and swipe left to right around 1 or 2 times, like this way, and that is one of your best DPS windows other than stunning the Serpent. And 3 is it sparks a little bit, runs towards you, burrows into the ground, comes out of the ground, and slams in their tails. It's pretty easily dodgeable, and it could be a pretty short DPS window, but it's manageable. Come over here. After that, it will go over to this particular area, around here. And what it will do, it will go up into the air once, back down, and then once it comes back up, it will start charging up that explosion move. And it has 2 varieties. One, when it does a quick little swing, and it'll start charging up, and this is probably one of the better times to use Goro or any archer you got, maybe even Kazuha if you have him, and start sniping at its cores so you can stun it and use someone of DPS, say like Ito or even Noel if you have her with C6 and Red Horn Thresh. So hey, why not? So after that, the DPS window will last around 10 or so seconds. It'll get up and it'll run here and go back into the middle arena, and basically the same thing will happen, and it'll rotate places, so it'll come out over here instead if you take too long. But otherwise, that's literally the entire fight. There's no goop you need to get rid of, there's no weird gadget you need to use. It's extremely predictable, and I understand that it might be annoying to some people because it might mess up the rotations, or they haven't, they overestimated how much time they had to do damage. But that just means that you need to just analyze the boss a bit better and just kind of understand that not everything must be played the same. That's literally all there is. I'm not denying that the boss is annoying, super annoying, but I'm not saying the boss is the hardest thing I've ever fought. Okay, so let's start the boss fight and see what happens. So of course it's going to come out over here. I'm going to battery Ito because of the fact that he is low on energy. Okay, so he's going to do this. Let's use Noel, actually. Get a few cheeky hits in. Let's see what she does next. Okay, so this means that she's going to, or the Rune Serpent's going to Vortex the entire arena. Let's go this way. There we go. Out already. And say if you had Fischl instead of someone else here, you could have left them inside that Vortex and they would have done more damage. But otherwise, yeah. I'm going to throw a little bit more over here. And again, here, it's going to come up again, and this is when you start battering your units. Maybe sneaking a bit more damage, but I do recommend the battery instead. And now it's going to come up. So if I had Kaza here, or maybe Raiden, be able to do something easier, but let's use Goro. Okay, so he's going to do this. So just start using Goro and start sniping his cores down. There you go. And here's the second variation where it does it really quick. You know, start doing charging up like this, and you just start hitting those cores quickly, or else it's going to get fucked like this. It's a very short window, so you got to be very careful and just start hitting it as soon as possible, because chances are when it's already looking up into the air, it's already too late and you got to run. Luckily it's pretty dodgeable though, there's nothing honing about it. And now I'm going to use Ito and go ham. I understand that's a bit of a skill thing, you might have to learn it a little bit more, but like, that's one way, or one of the more consistent ways to stun the Rune Serpent. And it's going to come in the middle here. Boom. And basically, rinse and repeat. It's going to do this circular thing. I'm going to run in a counterclockwise motion. Dodge that. And use Noelle again. And let's see what it does. Ah, here we go. Alright. And here it is. It's going to go up on this side now, as I said. And I'm going to use this time to battery my units. And he's probably going to be using the other kind of thing, so I'm going to have to be careful here. He's going to do this. Yep, again. Again. And this is literally the entire fight. And there you go. So, my apologies if I rubbed anyone the wrong way like before. Again, the purpose of that guide was not to show off my characters, nor say it's easy, just pay money. I literally explained the boss mechanics for like the first 60% to 70% of the video. So, for whatever reason, people decided to go elsewhere and say like, oh, this was just a pay pig guide, this is something that nobody can do. That's false. That was not the point of the video. So, if you're one of those people, my apologies. But please actually watch the video next time. So I'm not going to include like an after video of me beating it like from back to front again, because that was my bad. I should not have included that in the guide, because that probably was something that people skipped to and completely missed the point of the guide. So, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to show off the builds that I have, and hopefully it's a bit more acceptable this time. Thank you for watching.